It's time for dinner.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
From the creative mind of Scott Bertelson, after 4 decades of teaching our impressionable youth,
The dinner bell.
you are invited to enjoy conversational morsels for the mind at Mr. B's dinner party.
Yeah, dinner.
Hey, Mr. B, what's for supper? Hey, I just paid homage to Grandpa Joe.
Mr. B's got a table so wide. Pull up a chair, let your worries slide. School days, tales, and a movie or two. He's serving up wisdom with a side of stew. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end. From travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musing served in rhyme.
So, welcome to Mr. B's dinner party.
Let's have a seat round the proverbial table
Would you like to say grace?
with a nod to our higher power and Mr. B's spiritual journey.
For my spiritual journey today, folks, I've decided to focus on self-esteem. And that's so crucially important to have a good self-esteem. And part of the reason why I was an overeater for so many years is that I did not really have a good self-esteem. And I still struggle with that. But it is so much better because I know my higher power believes in me. I know my higher power loves me. And I know my higher power wants me to be happy. So I'm going to do some readings today about self-esteem. And then possibly you can see yourself in some of these and decide what you can do to improve that. Here's one. I think of my personality characteristics as being something similar to a sound system. When the characteristics are moderate, the volume control is in the center. When the characteristics are way out of proportion, they become character defects. Take self-esteem, for example. If the volume is too high, I am practicing false pride. If the volume is too low, I am suffering from self-esteem problems. I have to acknowledge, if I am humble, that my character defects may never be removed, but they can be tempered. They can be moderated by my higher power as long as I take my hands off the volume control. Humility means I know these things are going to keep showing up, and I get to keep asking God to put me back in balance. I love this very short reading, especially this one, this line. If the volume is too high, I am practicing false pride, which is something I really want to try to avoid. That's not what I want to do with my self-esteem. I do not want to be a braggart. But if the volume is too low, I'm suffering from self-esteem issues. So don't sell yourself short. Don't settle. Don't be taken advantage of. Respect yourself enough to stand up for what you believe in. So once again, the character defects are always going to be in me, but they are tempered, they are put at rest by my higher power. The same way with my eating addiction, that I constantly have that voice inside of me saying, oh, go ahead and eat those cookies. Oh, go ahead and eat that pizza. Oh, go ahead and eat that gallon of ice cream. But my higher power says, no, don't do it. You don't need it. It doesn't help you. It makes it worse. Here's another reading about self-esteem. I used to change my mind a lot about what and how much I would eat. Clearly, if I were to try suicide and wound up dead, there would be no changing my mind. I would avoid making commitments because I could not count on myself to deliver. Or I would quickly make promises, force myself to keep them, but hate, quote, being used, unquote. I need to make plans and commitments, and I need to do it carefully. Then I need to do what I said that I would do. When I began committing my food to a sponsor and sticking to the commitment, a first benefit was greater confidence that I could make and keep other commitments, such as completing a task at work. Today, I do plan my meals carefully, based both on what my body really needs and on what foods I will really enjoy when mealtime comes. There will be no more, quote, beating myself up, unquote, by planning disagreeable food to punish myself. My self-esteem depends upon being able to make and keep commitments. As I've tried to make it very clear to you, my happy friends, along my spiritual journey, I made the commitment to keep myself abstinent, and that's on a daily basis for the next 24 hours. And that means that there are certain foods that are a part of that daily eating, and there are certain foods that are not, because they are foods that take me off the beaten path into parts of life that I don't want to go. Loathings, self-deception, anger, jealousy, resentment, the list goes on and on and on. There used to be a time in my life where I used to think that I was being used. People are taking advantage of me. Oh, woe is me. Oh, poor Scott. But did I volunteer to do that reading? Did I volunteer to be a part of that organization? I think I did. Did I agree to do it for the right reasons or wrong reasons? The point is, I did agree to it. So I had nobody to blame. And to feel being used is a character defect that I don't want any part of anymore. So I now am very careful as to what I say yes to, and I can very honestly tell you that I can say no. And I'm okay with that. I don't have to feel any guilt. I don't have to explain why. I just don't want to do it. And that has helped to have greater confidence in myself, and I get a task done much easier when I have a manageable amount of tasks that I need to do. And I am always making my commitment to my sponsor. Every day I text him my food. If I should make a major diversion from that, I will text him and tell him what I'm doing. Now, if I substitute carrots for green beans for my allotted amount of vegetable, I don't text and tell him. He says that's okay. But if I have something that is maybe a yellow light food that's questionable, then I need to let him know. And then I need to be honest about it. So keep in mind that your self-esteem is incredibly important to you. Here's my third reading about self-esteem. Before I came to understanding my disease, my self-esteem swung wildly from exceedingly low to arrogantly high, and I definitely know what that's like. Usually I thought of myself as ugly, deeply flawed, unlovable. Sometimes I tried to put myself above people I knew. I worked hard to convince myself and others that I was smarter or nicer, kinder, or more competent. My disease and dealing with it has helped me understand that humility means recognizing the equality of all persons. Let me repeat that. The equality of all persons. We are unique individuals with unique strengths and weaknesses. We each have gifts to offer. We are all valuable human beings worthy of respect. In my journey of recovery, I am called to be the best person I can be and to respect others for who they are. As I work toward those goals, I become truly equal and in harmony with life. Wow. As I work towards these goals, I become truly equal and in harmony with life. What a way to live on a daily basis. Feeling that you're no better than anybody else, that everybody should be respected. We can do this. This is not something that we just say we could do, and I'll do it tomorrow. No, you can do it right now, starting today. I used to, when I was deep into my disease, I did consider myself ugly, deeply flawed, and unlovable. And so then sometimes my self-esteem, my false pride would just go rampant. And I would try to convince everybody around me that I was so much, as it is said here, smarter, nicer, kinder, more competent. Why was I doing that? Was that bringing me any satisfaction? No. Was it bringing me depression and driving me deeper into my alcoholic foods? Yes. And so after I discovered that I didn't need to have my alcoholic foods on a daily basis, my life has become much more even keel. I don't have to seek people's approval. I don't have to brag to other people. I don't have to put on airs. I never, ever want to think that I'm better than any other human being. And if I do, I have to stop and I need to reevaluate. Oh yes, it slips in sometimes. Believe me, it does. Because those character defects are just right underneath the surface. And they're just looking for a way to come out. But I'm not going to allow that to happen. Not if I keep myself abstinent and keep my sights on my higher power. It's not going to happen. And I'd like to share one more about self-esteem for you. And it goes like this. Humility means I recognize and accept myself as an ordinary person. There's nothing wrong with being, in my mind, an ordinary person. Humility frees me from the bondage of self, the chain of superlatives my ego wraps around me. I no longer need to be either a superstar or a scum of the earth, and that's the way I lived. Either I wanted everybody to worship me and adore me, or I hated myself so much that I kept myself hidden away, soaring or crashing on my own merit. Instead, I can humbly ask my higher power to help me recognize the wisdom around me and to act on it, moment by moment, each day for the next 24 hours. The humility that I have learned has given me self-esteem for the first time. That's what we need, humility. I see that my intrinsic merit, like that of my fellows, was always there, whether or not I recognized it. It is a gift of the inner spirit for each of us, not a product of outside accolades for the few. Humility frees me from my comparisons and self-judgment that ultimately labeled me a loser. Humbly asking for guidance from the God of my understanding opens the door to his empowerment. I become more willing, stronger, and more confident as God's strength helps me accomplish more than I ever dreamed possible. Let me repeat that last line again. I become more willing, stronger, and more confident as God's strength helps me accomplish more than I've ever dreamed before. That comes from being humble, being filled with humility. In the past, I did label myself as a loser, no matter how much people would tell me how great I was. It didn't work because I didn't believe it. Now I know that I'm a worthy, equal person with everybody around me, and I do have gifts, and I like to share those gifts, And I'm very grateful to my higher power for those gifts. And because I have those gifts, my self-esteem is very even-keeled today. Sometimes, for reasons that I can't explain, I do dip into the well and go deep into the whole idea of I'm not worthy, I'm terrible, nobody likes me, what's going to happen with my future, why am I so unlovable, yada, yada, yada. But I soon climb up the ladder out of that hole and realize something happens miraculously the day that's going on with me in my head, and things turn around. And that's my higher power. My higher power is telling me, you are lovable. I am taking care of you. You are going to be okay. So, my friends, for our spiritual journeys, which we're doing together, remember that you have to love yourself. How can you expect anybody else to love you if you cannot love yourself? And know that that is your birthright, to be a person who loves himself or herself. And HP, your higher power, loves you unconditionally. Remember that.
For the next course, come one, come all. Nothing spoiled here. From comfort classics to what's hot now. Film reviews from Mr. B's Rewatchables.
All right, film lovers. I've covered a plethora. See how I worked that word in? Of films during my duration here at the helm of Mr. B's dinner party. Today, I'm going to talk about my favorite teen film. Came out in 1985. I had only taught for about 4 to 5 years, and I remember distinctly when this film came out. And I thought it was brilliant. And I've seen it so many times, I couldn't even tell you how many times. And I never tire of it. And even though it takes place in 1985, and I know that we're way past that, I think the themes are still 100% relevant today. And the name of this film, I bet you know, The Breakfast Club. The 1985 American teen film written, produced, and directed by John Hughes. John Hughes was an amazing director during the 80s. And I will also mention some of his other films. It starred Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. Many of these people later on were a member of the Brat Pack that Rob Lowe was a part of. Many of them were also in a film later on called St. Elmo's Fire, which tells the story of young people in college. But this film tells the story of 5 teenagers from 5 different cliques who serve a Saturday detention overseen by the vice principal, Paul Gleason. Now, John Hughes, the director of this film, also directed another one of my favorite films, and I might review that sometime, is 16 Candles, which was the first big hit for Molly Ringwald. And then he also directed Pretty in Pink and some others. It was released by Universal Pictures in 1985. It made $51.5 million against a $1 million budget, so big money maker. It earned acclaim from critics. The film was digitally remastered in 2015 and was re-screened in theaters across the country to celebrate its 30th anniversary. It has been selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. It is, as it should be, considered one of the best films of the 80s and one of the best teen films of all time. Oh, there's so many teen films out there. Many of them very, very good. But to me, this is number one. Let me give you a little idea of the plot of this great, great film. On Saturday, March 24th, 1984, where were you in 84? 5 students at Shermer High School in Illinois report for an all-day detention. We have socially awkward Brian Johnson, jock Andrew Clark, shy loner Allison Reynolds, popular girl Claire Standish, and rebellious delinquent John Bender. They meet in the school library, and the vice principal, Richard Vernon, warns them they cannot talk or move and assigns each of them the task of writing a 1,000-word essay describing, quote, who you think you are, unquote. Well, as the film begins, Bender ignores the rules and spends his time bothering all the others and defying Vernon.
Where's your lunch?
You're wearing it.
You're nauseating.
Who gives him 8 additional weekends of detention. The students sneak off to retrieve Bender's marijuana stash from his locker. When they see the vice principal returning to the library, Bender gets caught to allow the others to sneak back in. So, locked in a storage closet as punishment, Bender is further put down by Vernon, who tells him that he wants Bender to prove how tough he really is. Bender is offered a chance to punch Vernon, but refuses. He soon escapes into the ceiling panels and falls into the library, where the others hide him from Vernon. Now, what do the students do in this library setting all day long, since the vice principal isn't in there with them? Oh, they listen to music, they smoke pot, they gradually open up about their home lives, and they give their reasons why they are in detention. Claire, played by Molly Ringwald, is in detention because she skipped school to go shopping. Bender reveals the physical abuse he and his mother suffer at the hands of the father, including cigar burns on him and other injuries that he has sustained from his father abusing him physically. He's serving detention for pulling a false fire alarm. Andrew, the jock, as played by Emilio Estevez, became influenced by jock culture and is intimidated by his father to succeed in wrestling. He's given detention because he taped a student's buttocks together in an attempt to win both his teammates and his father's approval. Brian, the brain, is under great academic pressure from his parents to get good grades that he considered suicide after he got an F in shop class.
You know why I'm here today? Do you? I'm here because Mr. Ryan found a gun in my locker.
Why'd you have a gun in your locker?
I tried.
He was sent to detention for bringing a flare gun to school. And Allison, the loner, played by Ali Sheedy, is completely dishonest with neglectful parents, constantly stealing things to use should she ever run away from home. She shows up at detention for lack of anything better to do.
You want to know what I did to get in here? Nothing. I didn't have anything better to do.
Now, they all face similar problems. Parents, adults who don't understand them, including teachers, other adults, and particularly parents. This film does not really paint a very good picture of parents raising their children. For example, Brian and Claire admit that they feel anxiety, that they're still virgins, that they feel like they're outcasts. And as they are in this room throughout the day, they all seem to shed the image that they are told that they had to portray. And they start developing friendships. But the question is, as they mention in the film, and you never really get an answer, you just have to decide this for yourself. Once they are done with detention, and once they go their separate ways, and once they are back in school on Monday, will they acknowledge each other? Or will they let the cliques, norms, stop them from reaching out to each other? Really important question.
I mean, I consider you guys my friends. I'm not wrong, am I?
No.
So on Monday, what happens?
Are we still friends, you mean? We're friends now, that is?
Yeah.
Do you want the truth?
Yeah, I want the truth.
I don't think so.
Back to the story. So then, Vernon, the vice principal, who is not portrayed as a very intellectual person, complains to also the janitor who's working there, Carl, that the students have become very undisciplined and arrogant, as contrasted to when he was a student their age. But Carl says that Vernon is the one who has changed and cares too much about what the students think of him. So finally, the group convinces Brian, the brain, to complete the essay on everyone's behalf. Just to give you an idea of how the dynamics change at the end of this day of detention, Claire gives Allison a makeover, and then Andrew starts noticing Allison. Bender crawls back to the closet where Claire challenges her reputation by kissing him. As the students part, Allison and Andrew kiss, and she takes the state championship patch off his leather jacket and keeps it. Now, will they be together on Monday? You have to decide. Claire gives Bender one of her diamond earrings, and they share a kiss.
And you don't got the balls to stand up to your friends and tell them that you're gonna like who you wanna like.
Okay, what about you, you hypocrite? Why don't you take Allison to one of your heavy metal vomit parties? Or take Brian out to the parking lot at lunch and get high? Or what about Andy, for that matter? What about me? What would your friends say if we were walking down the hall together? They'd laugh their asses off, and you'd probably tell them that you were doing it with me so they'd forgive you for being seen with me.
Don't you ever talk about my friends. You don't know any of my friends, you don't look at any of my friends, and you certainly wouldn't condescend to speak to any of my friends. So you just stick to the things that you know. Shopping, nail polish, your father's BMW, and your poor, rich, drunk mother in the Caribbean. Shut up! And as far as being concerned about what's going to happen when you and I walk down the hallways of school, you can forget it, because it's never going to happen.
At the end, as they're leaving the building and being picked up by their parents or walking home, Vernon, the vice principal, reads Brian's essay, which says that the vice principal has made petty assumptions about all of them, and declares that, quote, each one of us is a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Unquote. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club. Bender then, that famous scene, walks home across the football field and raises his hand in a sign of rebellion, raising his fist triumphantly. I think this film is still 100% relative today. As a sub and as a full-time teacher, even though I've been out of the classroom for 5 years on a full-time basis, I saw all of these cliques. And sometimes the cliques worked well with each other, and sometimes they definitely antagonized each other. But how did those cliques start? Why were students hiding beneath the layers of what that clique entails? Was it for safety purposes? What was it? And today, usually, as a substitute, no matter what the grade level is, I can see these different cliques happening in a high school or a middle school or an elementary. And I can see people choosing a certain clique to hide behind.
Your friends wouldn't mind because they look up to us.
You're so conceited, Glenn. You're so conceited. You're so, like, full of yourself. Why are you like that?
I'm not saying that to be conceited. I hate it. I hate having to go along with everything my friends say.
Well, then why do you do it?
I don't know. You don't understand. You're not friends with the same kind of people that Annie and I are friends with. You know, you just don't understand the pressure that they can put on you.
I'm no fan of cliques. Not at all. Were they apparent? Were they in existence when I was in school? Amen, brother, they were. Oh, yes. We had the brain. We had the athlete. We had the basket case. We had the princess. And yes, we had the criminal. And in my class, in 1977, of 42 graduates from Sheffield Chapin High School, did we ever come together? I can say yes. At our reunions, at the 30-year reunion, the 35-year reunion, 40-year reunion, all the cliques, characteristics subsided, and nobody cared anymore because now we were parents, we were married, non-married, had grandchildren, were retired, were finishing our jobs. It didn't matter. Why was this so important in high school or middle school? I think the lesson is, to me, which makes this film everlasting, is that you shouldn't have cliques to hide behind. You should be opening up to all people all the time. I know that's very Pollyanna. I get that. Is that going to happen? Probably not. But I can be hopeful, can't I? Can't I? I'd like to think so. And so, the Breakfast Club, which originally was going to be called the Lunch Bunch, which I'm glad they changed that, is a miraculous, wonderful film probing into cliques that are still in existence today. Sadly, in existence today. I challenge you, as part of my listeners, that if you are in high school or middle school, if you're listening, which you should be, I've been told subbing that students listen to this podcast. I hope so. Anyway, or adults, that you let go of any cliques that you might be in and reach out to people that maybe you normally did not do. Reach out to and open up yourself to other people and let them know that you accept them and respect them. And in the song by Simple Minds, which is the main song of this brilliant film, don't you forget about me, I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. And that's as much as you're going to get. You go to a streaming service, you go to a cable station, you buy the DVD if you've never experienced The Breakfast Club, and ask yourself, where would those people be on Monday after this encounter, this intimate encounter on Saturday? You let me know. Oh, you've talked me into it. Yes, there is a TV show anthology that I truly adore. And it's on the FX cable channel. And it's based on one of my favorite films that I've not reviewed yet, but I probably will. And that is the black comedy crime drama movie Fargo, that was written and directed by the brilliant team of Joel and Ethan Coen. But after that film came out in 1996, and I still watch it every year, they came up with a TV series. And it's been on for a number of years now. And every season focuses on a different story. The show is written by Noah Haley. And he has been the mastermind behind the entire anthology series. There's been 5 seasons of the show that's been released between 2014 and 2024. And they all take place in the Midwest, usually Minnesota. The storylines differ with each season, but normally somehow focuses on organized criminals, law enforcement, bloodshed, death, interspersed with humor. It has received many, many Primetime Emmy nominations. Let me give you a brief synopsis of each season, and you could probably find this on a streaming service or buy the box set or maybe go to a cable channel. Season 1, 2014, you've got Billy Bob Thornton, one of my favorite actors, passing through Bemidji, Minnesota, influencing the community about this insurance salesman, and it deals with malice, violence, and deception. I just love this. And so anyway, in the meantime, the deputy team up to solve a series of murders they believe would be linked to the Billy Bob Thornton character. And that's as much as I'm going to tell you. It is very, very good. Each season is about 8 to 9 episodes, hour-long episodes. Season 2. In 1979, there's a beautician, played by Kirsten Dunst, and her husband, who cover up a hit and run of a member of the crime family based in Fargo, North Dakota, led by the matriarch, Jean Smart, who's a big star right now in HBO's Hacks. Minnesota State Trooper, played by Patrick Wilson, and his father-in-law become entangled with this family, the Gernhardts, as they investigate a triple homicide. So once again, you're seeing the theme of death, and more death. The second season is set in Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Season 3 in 2017 has Ewan McGregor, who lives in St. Cloud, and his girlfriend dream up a better, wealthy life. They have to steal a valuable vintage stamp from Ray's more successful older brother, who is also played by McGregor. He is the self-proclaimed parking lot king of Minnesota. But, as you could probably guess, their plans backfire, and they have to hide their involvement in a couple of murders. The stepfather, a former Eden Valley police chief. Meanwhile, you have lots of mayhem and chaos going on, and makes it an enjoyable viewing experience. Season 4 came out in 2020. This one involved the 1950s, where Chris Rock's character, Lloyd Cannon, threatens to change the fate of family led by Jason Schwartzman as a ruling king organization in Kansas City, Missouri. The group agrees to honor a tradition of trading the youngest son between the two households. The alliance is jeopardized by the arrival of a brass brother who comes in, which leads to an entanglement in the criminal activities of Kansas City. And season 5, the latest, 2003 to 2004. This is where a housewife, Dottie, is kidnapped by a man, but escapes with help from the North Dakota State Patrol. When Dottie returns home, she claims to her husband that there was no kidnapping. While they investigate this, Dottie comes into conflict with a man who she was married to years before, as portrayed by John Hamm, the constitutional sheriff of Stark County, North Dakota. He was Dottie's first husband, whom she fled 10 years ago because of physical abuse. Dottie must also contend with Wayne's wealthy mother, who is portrayed brilliantly by Jennifer Jason Leigh, the CEO of a debt collection agency who suspects Dottie faked the kidnapping, which you have to watch the show to find out. So this is set in North Dakota and Minnesota in the late 2019. And that's a brilliant episode also, a brilliant anthology. So there have been 5 seasons of Fargo, and I'm guessing there will be more. And the common thread is crime, death, deception, cheating on each other, and more death and destruction. All brought together with just a hint of humor. It never takes itself too seriously. So it pays great homage to the original film by the Coen brothers. So if you, in the next year or two, I'm guessing there'll be another anthology on FX, the cable station. I hope that you will watch Fargo. And maybe you can go to Hulu and find the previous seasons on Hulu and really become absorbed in this brilliantly written story and stories of people who don't get along, people who hate each other, people who make all the wrong choices. Please watch Fargo.
And now for a special treat. Poetry with Mr. B.
Poetry lovers, it's time once again for Poet's Corner. I have shared with you the wondrous poems of Walt Whitman and Robert Frost. And today I'm going to share with you some of Langston Hughes' poetry. First of all, just a little background about Langston Hughes. He was a central figure in the Harlem Renaissance. That's in the 1920s when blacks were growing intellectually, literally, artistically, especially in Harlem. Now, Hughes also wrote novels and short stories and essays and plays. I remember being exposed to Langston Hughes in high school and in college, and I taught a few of his poems when I was in high school as a language arts teacher. So today I just randomly want to choose some that I like, and I'm not going to go into great or much of any interpretation. I'm just going to share the poem and let it speak for itself. First one is called I Too, T-O-O. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow, I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody'll dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am. I too am America. The next one I'm going to share is called The Negro Speaks of Rivers. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in the Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo, and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised the pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Next, I'm going to share the poem called I Look at the World. I look at the world from awakening eyes in a black face, and this is what I see. This fenced-off narrow space assigned to me. I look then at the silly walls through dark eyes and a dark face, and this is what I know, that all these walls oppression builds will have to go. I look at my own body with eyes no longer blind, and I see that my own hands can make the world that's in my mind. Then let us hurry, comrades, the road to find. The final one I'm going to share, and there are many, 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 many more. If you have been sparked to want to know more about Langston Hughes or to read more of his poetry, you can find it online. You can buy books of his poetry. You can read his fiction. You can read his plays. He was a great voice for the black people. This one is called Let America Be America Again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream that dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, But opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. So who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker, sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today, despite the dream. Beaten yet today, O pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker, bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in every furrowed turn that's made America the land it has become. Oh, I am the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I am the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lie, and torn from black Africa's strand I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed and all the songs we've sung and all the hopes we've held and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been set, and yet must be the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose, the steel of freedom does not stain. For those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again. America. Oh yes, I said it plain. America never was America to me, and yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we, the people, must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain. All the stretch of these great green states, and make America again. Friends, you probably picked up a theme here in the poetry that I've shared today of Langston Hughes talking about the oppression of the black race and many, many other races, and how these groups have not found the freedom that this country so much professes to offer. Now ask yourself, what's it like today? Is it different? Is it better? Do we have more equality? Thought-provoking questions that's always brought about when you read thought-provoking poetry. Thank you, Langston Hughes. And my folks, there you have it. We'll have to have another potluck sometime. We surely had a potluck of topics for today. And I surely, don't call me Shirley, look forward to talking with you again soon. And in the meantime, may the sun shine brilliantly overhead, and may you find somebody to clean that mess in your living room. So until we meet again, this is Mr. B saying, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Television dramas and comedic reviews, pet peeves buzzing like honeydew blues, poetry sprinkled like salt on a dish, every word served with a twist and a swish. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end, from travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musing served in rhyme.
Mr. B's Dinner Party is hosted by Scott Bertelson, edited and produced by Troy Thompson, recorded and distributed at Sunnyside Farm Studios, and platformed by Buzzsprout.
Conversations flowing like fine red wine, world journeys mapped with tales divine. He's hosting a dinner for your hungry mind, a banquet of life where you can unwind. Belly up to the table, my friend. The feast of thought will never end, from travels far to a spiritual climb. Morsels of musings served in rhyme.
Subscribe so you never miss an episode, and share with your friends. Listen and enjoy every other Wednesday. Conversational Morsels for the Mind on Mr. B's Dinner Party.